Good afternoon, members and market participants. Thank you for joining today's open house on key updates from Member Services Department. I am Jwalant Gandhi, and on behalf of each one of you and NSC, I'd like to welcome today's presenter, my colleagues Aarti Surve, Prithviraj Pawar, and Bharat Gandhi, who will be taking all of us through the recent important updates which were implemented by MSD team, specifically the three verticals of Member Services Department: continuous market, non-continuous market, and access to markets verticals. Now, these will be important updates which we'd like to explain briefly to all of you, and we would be happy to address all of your queries. So please keep posting your queries in the Q&A window, which you can see as a button called Q&A, so that we can address your queries related to today's topic. We again request participants to ensure that the queries and questions are related to today's topics only, which we are going to give as an update. If any other queries are there, then definitely through other open house sessions or respective teams you can get in touch with, and we'll be addressing that. So without further ado, I'd like to hand over to Aarti Surve to share the updates, respective verticals update that she wants to share today. Aarti, over to you.
Yeah. Thanks, Jwalan. Good evening, everyone. Hello, I'm Aarti Surve. So today, for the updates of Member Service Department, I'll be starting with the updates for continuous market group. Coming up, the first point is the new encryption mechanism of interactive messages and immediate order acknowledgement. Now, encryption of the interactive messages using AES 256 GCM. Using AES 256 GCM provides both confidentiality and integrity of the data. Using this additional authentication mechanism along with encryption not only ensures that the data is encrypted and can be decrypted by the intended party, but also that the data has not been tampered during transmission. Secondly, was the provision of immediate acknowledgement of the order related messages. This means that when a member provides the order to the exchange provides an immediate acknowledgement of the order to the brokers for CMFO, CD, and commodity segment. As you can see, the
Aarti,
CD
sorry
and
to interject.
commodity.
Meanwhile, we lost your voice. So can you just repeat the second point where you started discussing?
Okay. The second point which I had mentioned was provision of immediate acknowledgement of order related messages. Uh, in this, when a broker sends the order to the exchanges, the exchange is providing immediate acknowledgement of the order. This with this what the right side of the screen is the release dates of the new interactive parameters and the encryption mechanisms. For CD and commodity, it is already live. The dates are given: the 12th July for CD and 13 December for commodity segment. With this new encryption, the existing encryption mechanism, the MD5 checksum, shall be removed. The removal date, I mean the discontinuation date, we will be communicating it in the coming days, by when it will be communicated. Now, coming on to second point, I think on October 1st, 2025, we had introduced a new series in for trading in specialized investment funds. The two new series were introduced, SF series and SE series. For this, the trading related communications was done via circular 70565. So you can refer to circulars providing the trading specification. The third point is revision in tick size. As you are aware, for stock options earlier, the tick size for all stock options was 0.05, which has been reviewed and which was made to 0.01 for all prices which are below rupees 250. The live date for these changes were November 3, 2025. As an impact, we could say that all before trading, the latest master file should be loaded on your trading systems to ensure that proper tick size are updated in your trading master applications. From last June 2025 to Jan 26, around six new stocks were introduced in F&O segment. Uh, Out of which I think four stocks were introduced in last December only. The list of stocks has been, we are updating a tracker on website under the equity derivative segment where you can track these introductions of the stocks in F&O segment. After that, I think recently SEBI had reviewed the block deal framework. You can see from December 8th December, the block deal framework was changed. Earlier, the minimum order no value for block deal was 10 crores, which has been updated to minimum order value of 25 crores. And also the order placed currently is within plus minus 3% of the applicable reference price. Earlier, it was 1%. All these we have also updated the block deal FAQs, which are already available on the exchange website also. So you can refer those FAQs there. As you can see, the most happening thing happened last December was introduction of pre-open session in equity derivative segment. For this, we have issued a circular providing the trading parameters, and also we have made an exhaustive FAQs for equity derivative segment. So you can this FAQ is a very handy one. So members can use those FAQs to if anybody wants to review the trading parameters also. Also, for the benefit of the members, there is a simulated market which we currently provide to all the members. So we have provided a early access to all the members for simulated market. Earlier it was around 5:30 the simulated market used to start, but now we have introduced the simulated market is now accessible from 1600 hours from December 9th onwards. And plus, add on what we have provided is that the pre-open session, which was introduced in F&O, we have provided a 1 hour window of pre-open session. So if you want to test your pre-open related things, you can use those time for testing in simulated market. Now the new order and drop copy API in CM segment, the API version number 3 is released in live from 12th January 2026. Now with this new APIs, the new drop copy API is currently gone only for CM segment. Now there are few features for these APIs like flexible data download. Now members can download only order related or trade or order both. Now, with this API, you have got concurrent logins also through API with the same user ID to provide an enhanced accessibility and usability of this data. Uh, Now, the new API which we have provided are designed to increase the enhanced performance and efficiency of the API what we are currently providing. The use of decompression algorithms helps to optimize the bandwidth utilization, ensuring efficient data transfer in this. Now, last point is decimal precision changes have gone live in commodity segment with effective from 1st November for price related field, which was earlier 6.4. Now it has been announced to 7, 2. So that's all from my side. Now I can tell Prithvi to.
So, Arti, before we move to next vertical update, two, three things if we can just clarify on a couple of pointers you have mentioned. So, on simulated environment availability, you mentioned it is available from 4 p.m. onwards, right
Yeah.
from December 9, 2025. So, just for sake of market participants' information, any other changes related to that happened other than the timing that we have mentioned for simulated market environment?
Other changes I can see earlier, see F&O, there was no pre-open session there, which was there, like in the live also or in the production also. But in
Hmm.
simulated, the currently see F&O in the live market, the pre-open session is for hardly few minutes. But here we have provided the pre-open session for 1 hour, like 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock. So 1 hour pre-open session for testing in simulated market. That timing has been changed there. So I think the
Okay.
timings are already available under our website under trading protocols, where the market timings for simulated markets are visible.
Okay. Along with the parameters, I suppose, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Second thing, just for sake of clarification, if you can just mention, so related to encryption mechanism that we have mentioned, and specifically for CMFO, we have mentioned the release as 11th April 2026, which is yet to come, right? So are
Uh,
there any couple of
no, today only we have just issued a circular mentioning these dates. So I think just few half an hour back, the circular has been issued.
Okay, but the date we are displaying over screen for CMFO, that is the applicability date
Future.
for CMNFO, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so I mean, what I was asking is, are there any couple of important pointers which people may need to keep in mind operationally for CMFO, which is going to be applicable with effect from 11th April 2026? I mean, if you can mention couple of important pointers that they need to keep in mind for operational purpose.
Important pointers mean those who are still using their existing encryption mechanism, they have to go to the new interactive parameters, the encryption mechanism what has been there. So
Hmm.
we would like everyone to, I mean, adopt this new parameters, so that
Okay.
whenever the discontinuation timelines are announced, I think there should not be any surprises for them.
Understood. And last point, if you can clarify a bit elaboratively, related to new order and trade drop copy API, you mentioned that they can now avail order related or trade or order related both the information, right? So for that, any changes they need to make or anything needs to be done or kept in mind if they want to use any of this, I mean, either of this.
First of all, they have to refer the version 3.0, the API version. And
Mm-hmm.
since I think logins are the same, so I don't think there's a separate login which is required. Whichever you are using it for your current trade drop copy, that is only same applicable here.
Understood. Understood. So I guess, members, again, I'll request all of you, in case you are having any queries during the session itself, please use the space called Q&A, which is a tab you can see, and you can type your queries related to that. So without further ado, again, I'd like to request Prithviraj to take next vertical update. Prithviraj, over to you, please.
Yes. Uh, Good evening, everyone. I am Prithviraj Pawar. I am part of the NMG group, that is non-continuous market group. Uh, I'll be quickly walking you through the new functionalities and enhancement that the NMG group has implemented in past few months. First of all, the main point, important announcement was launch of liquidity window facility in November 25 for investors in debt securities through stock exchange mechanism. Liquidity window facility is actually a SEBI initiative. It was introduced by SEBI in order to improve liquidity in the debt securities. Through liquidity window facilities, the issuer can offer issue debt securities with an option of providing put option. Investor debt securities introduced through liquidity window facility. Investor holding debt securities in demat form can exercise the put option to sell their bond back to the issuer at a uh, pre-specified date or interval. Second point is implementation of bulk upload validation in e-form module in order to restrict duplicate application generation. So in this functionality, what we have done is earlier there is a bulk upload of facility in our e-form module through which a member can upload bulk applications, and the application are generated automatically. Numbers are generated through e-form. So as per this functionality, if there is already any application with same PAN or DPID, so that there's restriction will be the error will be given and no duplicate application number would be generated. The third point is in introduction of decrypted allotment API for enhanced security. This functionality is introduced to provide uniform data format across all stakeholders. Uh, Fourth point is introduction of holiday API for eIPO to allow banks and members to directly sync holiday data. Exchange had received feedback from banks and members that they require Holiday Master API to integrate the data directly with their internal application. And for this purpose, this Holiday Master API was introduced. Fifth point is introduction of auto trigger alert to checker to act on pending bids on eIPO platform, ensuring there are no pending bids at member end. A message auto triggered mail is sent at 2:30 p.m. Uh, during the issue open period at 2:30 p.m. So member or the checker can take appropriate action and ensure that whatever pending bids are there, he can take appropriate action and approve the same. Uh, the second part is enhancement that NMG has undertaken. So first is we have increased the API rate limit for transaction fetch API in eIPO. Earlier, uh, there were only one request or was allowed per 5 minutes for transaction fetch. Uh, with the new feature, we have increased the limit so a member can send 25 requests per second. And second is capacity for bulk upload facility for tender offer is increased from 10,000 record per file to 40,000 record per file. So the advantage to member is that the capacity is increased at member end. And the third point is the field length for ASBA reference number for reads and invits has been increased from 16 to 60 characters. So this change was introduced basically because for other products to make it uniform for all the products. For IPO, it was 60 characters. So to bring it in line with IPO, mainboard and SME, the read and invit reference number has been increased to 60 characters. So that is all from NMG team.
Prithvi, just again for benefit of all the participants, the first rate, which is API rate limit, if you can just briefly explain again so that everybody is clear.
So there is one API that called transaction fetch. So any member is placing bid through API. He wants to know what is the present status of that application. So through transaction fetch, he can use this API to get the latest status of that particular transaction. So many members have integrated this in their system so that for every application they they use this API and provide the updated status to the customer. But what was happening is because of this rate limit, they were getting errors. If they used to send a second request within the 5 minutes, they used to get API rate limit error. So it was causing some operational issues at members end. So based on the member feedback, we have increased the this rate limit to 25 requests per second.
Okay. Thank you, Prithvi. Now, for the third vertical updates to be shared, I'd request Bharat Gandhi to just try sharing the updates, please.
Hi, Jolan. Thank you for introducing. But I'm Bharat Gandhi. I look after the access to market team vertical within the member services team. We have lot many updates for market participants in the last 6 months. So just we are populated a couple of them, not all, looking at the paucity of time and giving updates. So one of the facility what we require support for market participants is Exchange had migrated the POP network ownership as well as management of other POP network from Exchange managed to CFI managed. So CFI was appointed as a telecom network integrator and the ownership was transferred to them. In line with that, now CFI is owning all the POPs across India uh, for NSE connectivity, lease line connectivity. In that sense, there were POPs which were there at STT Ultaganga in Kolkata, Jeevan Vihar in Delhi, and Kohinoor in Mumbai. Their migration was also done to CFI, and CFI in turn is now migrating those POPs to realign their network infrastructure to efficiently service members to different locations. So in that sense, the existing POPs were planned to be discontinued. Kolkata has already been discontinued effective December 9th. Jeevan Vihar, the plan was earlier to discontinue at December 9th, but there were a couple of links still pending of self-service and has been the date for discontinuation has been extended till February 15th. Kohinoor POP is to be migrated by March 15. So it's an earnest request with all the members having self-service links to get the telecom network, means telecom service provider, connect with them, get them to migrate to the new POPs which have been introduced against these POPs, existing POPs. Uh, Now, again, for managed services, CFI is coordinating with all the members and telco providers. The area here, what we require cooperation from members is for the self-service links. Uh, Looking at that, because ownership and management is transferred to CFI, the benefit here, what we were looking for, is increasing the network footprint availability of POPs. So CFI has launched a new POP at Rabale. This was launched last year in August, and CFI would continue to evaluate demand pan India and introduce POPs as and where it is required by market participants. Again, one of the asks from market participants was we had limited number of telco service providers. It was namely Airtel, Tata, and MTNL, BSNL, Ticona, Microscan. Uh, there was a ask to introduce new vendors who would give them last mile connectivity or remote locations. SIFI stepped up to this requirement and they got themselves impaneled with the telecom team from our side, and they themselves are now acting as a last mile telco service providers. They were introduced effective January 1st this year, and quite a few number of orders have come for new connectivities with CFI. Uh, CFI would continue to evaluate requirement of market participants as well in coordination with the exchange if new telco vendors are required in the last mile, and would continue to add. So this is all about the network part of it. On the co-location side specifically, in somewhere in April last year, we had announced that the SLAs for connectivity requests was increased for co-location, that for namely IP surrender or message rate downgrade request. Again, there was a feedback from market participants and basis review. Uh, SLAs were revised to make it more in line with the market participants' feedback, and the SLA has been reduced to T plus 5 maximum, and it is being processed. So we are open to feedback from market participants to means improve our efficiencies or operations activities. So if you have anything on that, you can continue to write to us, to the BD team, and we would evaluate what can be done, what cannot be done, and accordingly revert back to you on a timely basis. There was again market feedback from market participants with respect to commodity derivatives. Members taking tick by tick links basically required child IPs, additional IPs for connecting to consuming market data broadcasts as well as recovery. In that sense, on the existing connectivity, exchange allowed now allows four child IPs additionally to be applied uh, by the members, and this is done basically on the feedback from market participants themselves. On another point, basically, there was a SEBI circular last year in Feb 2024 with respect to retail algo framework. SEBI in the month of September had provided a glide path for members to um, adapt the new framework for retail algorithmic trading. As a part of that, while the approval cycle, registration cycle, the empanelment and all this stuff is being taken care of by the investigation team of the exchange, the user ID facilities with respect to reporting, creating the user IDs, those fall under the purview of AMG team under member services. And for such implementation, effective September, the facilities to report or activate a user ID for the products type API, like done for CTCL, IBT, SWT, DMA, has been made available effective September, and facility to report the 12-digit terminal ID for API, like done for IBT, SWT, DMA. For API, it is required to report it as 12 times 4. These facilities have been made operational as a part of the retail algo framework and glide path, which has been communicated by SEBI. Uh, in terms of co-location, one more point basically, effective last year basically, we launched phase 13 and phase 14 of co-location facility in November specifically. And now we are providing racks with higher power density. So earlier the full rack was of a 6 kVA power capacity. From phase 13 onwards, we have full racks with 7.5 kVA. and with an added option that members having two adjacent racks can request for removal of a partition panel, a section of the partition panel between these two racks. So, facilitating member to interconnect the rack, basically both the racks which they have, uh, without laying cable overhead cables or anything. They can directly connect the racks from by removal of that section. So this facility has been started effective November 17, for which a circular has been issued on November 14. Now, as these many initiatives with respect to access to market group, co-market operations, continuous market operations, and uh, no, non-continuous market group, these many of the initiatives are regulatory in nature, many of the initiatives are basis member feedback, and many of the initiatives are done basis operational enhancement, what we think that would be helpful for the market participants, like increasing the API limits from 1 per 5 minutes to 25 per second. Means we have directly done it multifold rather than not just looking at it at a piecemeal kind of, okay, make it per minute or per this, but we continue to review and see where we can operate, increase efficiency, and try to deliver that. So, Joalan, these are the updates from the AMG team.
Great, great. Thank you, Bharat. Just before we move to questions window,
Hmm,
the HPT rake variant availability you said is from phase 13 onwards, right? Not for
correct.
the earlier phases.
Yeah, they are constrained with respect to the power which has already been provisioned for those, right? So you cannot give higher power density on the existing racks because they have not been designed as such.
Correct, correct. Because members need to know that if they are going to apply for HPT rack variant, then it will be available from phase 13 onwards spaces only. Correct.
Yeah, for that
Uh,
matter, our communication has been clear on this. We have also updated this on our NSE website under the co-location section. But yes, it's a very important point for the members to note that racks from phase 13 onwards would be 7.5 kVA, and HPD would be available in 7.5 plus 7.5, that is 15 kVA from phase 13 onwards.
Okay, understood. Participants, again, we just request you to post your queries if any. So far, we have not received any queries, so we'll be just waiting for a couple of minutes. By that time, you can just start posting the questions. Till the time, I can request Bharat, Prithvi, and Aarti, in case so members are having any queries related to these updates or clarifications they need. Can you just utter out the email ID on which they can write and we can just address those queries?
So on for member services team, we have a dedicated email ID msm@nsc.co.in. We have a dedicated help desk team of about 25 odd personnel who are handling routine queries. And in case there is some queries which are requiring very urgent responses or high priority items and not operational in nature, definitely you can reach out to your relationship managers and they can definitely get in touch with us, and we would try to resolve those queries as soon as possible.
Great. And not to forget, as Aarti mentioned, there is an FAQ section over NSE website also, wherein related to certain verticals updates and information is already covered under those FAQs also. So we request participants to keep referring to those FAQs because in case the need be, they get updated also, and you'll be getting the handy information to keep in mind over there as well. Definitely, as we have been uploading this session, open house session videos over NSE's YouTube channel, this also within couple of days will get uploaded. So later on you can refer, but please keep in mind these are the recent update as on date when we are doing this session. So in case later in future you are referring, there may be possible changes in case at that particular point of time some things are required to be changed. Right, Bharat? So that people
Correct.
have to keep in mind when later on in future they refer the uploaded video over NSE's YouTube channel. Uh, Let me just check with the question and answer tab. So participants, so far we have still not received any queries. So again, we request we'll be waiting for a minute or so for your queries if you are having any, so that we can address here and here only. Any by the time any concluding remarks, all three of you want to just put in couple of pointers which people need
Yeah.
to keep in
So
mind.
So, rightly what you said, Jwalant, we have a very good FAQ section on the NSE website. We try to keep it as current and as updated as possible. If we are talking about continuous market group, we have almost about 15 to 20 odd FAQs covering self trade, direct connection, uh, bulk block reporting, and n number pre-open, n number of things. Basically, we have very detailed FAQs with scenarios of what, with examples on limit price protection, how it's work, with illustrations and all. With respect to AMG also, we have 7 to 8 FAQs on various aspects of connectivity, user ID, detailing means in very detail. Even then, if members have queries, they can definitely connect with us or the MSM help desk team. But these queries, these FAQs have been very much detailed and is reviewed every month to keep it updated and current. So, would request members before means reviewing or asking for clarifications, go through the FAQ section. If it is not covered in the FAQ section, do let us know. So, in the next version of the FAQ, it can be incorporated as well for the benefit of all the market participants.
At the same time, let me just pinpoint a particular thing in case some of the members are not aware. So, in recent past, we have launched two initiatives. One is Member Portal mobile app. In case any of you are not using that Member Portal mobile app, you can start using. We have already initiated with few of the features and will keep adding features into that particular mobile app, which the purpose is to give you information in handy manner, which you can keep referring day-to-day basis. Second is we have also launched a WhatsApp-based chatbot for few of the information, market-related information that all the market participants, not only members, investors, traders, all the market participants can keep referring to. So please go and explore. We are open for feedback on those initiatives as well. In case any new features are to be added, definitely will explore the feasibility. Now, thanks, Bharat, for the concluding remarks as well, which definitely was very much helpful to all the members and who have joined today's session. Members in rest of February month as well as March month, we have further open house sessions lined up. So we'll keep sharing the informations to all of you, and please do join for those sessions also so that you can get the latest information related to those particular topic. Before we end the session, we have just received one particular question. So I'd request the panel to address that. Person is asking from where we can find empaneled vendor for retail algo. Any helping
The
remarks?
query is pertaining to investigation department, but just for the benefit of the question, if you go to NSE website under trade section, you have non-need platforms. There's a tab there, and under the tab, you have in the bottom of the list, basically you have list of empanel vendors for retail algo. There's a list there. So there are three lists there: empanel vendors, empaneled FISVs, foreign independent software vendors, and empaneled algo providers.
Great. Thanks, Bharat. We have just received another question also. Mr. Salim Seth is asking what is the WhatsApp chatbot number. So, Mr. Seth, you can just go to NSE website on the homepage itself. We have given a banner also mentioning the WhatsApp chatbot number, and there is one small WhatsApp logo button also. If you just click on that, it will redirect you to WhatsApp web itself, wherein you will find the information and you can keep using on day-to-day basis also. So please go and explore. Not only Mr. Said, to all the participants, you can just keep spreading the word because these kind of digital initiatives are the initiatives that will keep on adding for benefit of all of you and all the market participants. So I guess in absence of any further question, we'd like to conclude today's session. Thank you again, everybody, for joining today's session. Please keep joining other open house sessions, which we are going to do in future. And on behalf of each and one of you, I'd thank all my colleagues here who are from NSC and MSD team. Thank you. Thank you very much again. Have a great week coming ahead.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.